Oh yeah, absolutely. If you have too much time on your hands and you don't swipe your credit card at the slightest in-game inconvenience. But yeah, anyways, time to review this bad boy. Lost Ark is a Diablo-type MMO made by Jeff Bezos himself, and it has Genalog classes. Great. Now, there are generally two ways on how Far Eastern MMO players pick their Genalog class. You either pick what you want to be in real life or what you want to have intercourse with in real life. And in my case, I simply combined both of those things and went with the Dragon Ball Z bait. I mean, it lets you toggle between Super Saiyan stages, and that's pretty dope, man. Anyways, you start the story, something about martial artists, and boom, you're a random adventurer on a random ship doing random adventurer things. Haven't seen that one in a minute. As for the story, it's pretty much the equivalent of an Amy Schumer show. Unmemorable, boring, and why do I even bother? But don't worry, I got you covered. I'll tell you the entire story in probably about 10 seconds. Ready? Go! First we meet a BTS member, then...
Gods. The Ark. God.
Oh no, who could have seen it coming? He's actually a bad guy.
Demons.
The Ark. Demons.
Amen.
Delane.
You use that power again.
I won't use it again.
And there you go, you are all caught up with the base story of the game. The next important bit that you have to be aware of is the absolute insane amount of menu bloat. Collectible rewards, mounts, pets, equipment, rewards, daily logins. You got so much garbage that it just bloats everything. But don't worry, I'm not actually hating on it. I'm just telling you this is a carefully crafted system to give us the illusion of accomplishment when we get a random dumbass item we don't need. Alright, enough trash talk, time for some gameplay, let's go. I am joking, of course, I'm recording this super late and the game is still alive and not dying or anything, but the Steam chart does look a lot like it's about to trigger PTSD in any crypto coin holder. I'm gonna go ahead and skip all that mid-game stuff because who cares about that anyway, right? I mean, in an MMO, everybody just cares about the end game. And there are really two elements to this. One, exploration, the actual fun part of the game that you only do once and then you're done with it. Or two, the combat, which is also pretty fun but only up to T3. That's where it becomes a nuisance to just grind and grind. This is also the part where people with money get baited into spending it because they have no patience. Instead of waiting a day, they just pay for the upgrades. Looking at you whales. Anyways, back to the exploration. The world is beautiful, really beautiful. It's almost a shame how bad the character creator is and how bad the characters look because they just soil the beautiful scenery. In fact, the scenery is so beautiful, it fucks with my computer. If you have stutters right now, that's not your computer, that's mine. Or maybe that's just Chinese programming. Exploration consists of mainly two elements, the big islands and the small islands. The big islands are themed like this one that reminds me of Final Fantasy VII, or another one which reminds me of European Middle Ages. And it's on those big islands where the story happens. Then there are, I think, 95 islands, smaller islands, usually with one objective or one task or something that gives you a token. And that token is basically the check mark on that island that tells you whether you finished it or not. And in all honesty, I can't even shit talk that. That's really good content. You get all these big islands that are completely differently themed. The smaller ones are differently themed too, and they all have a small storyline that eventually leads you to the island's token. Some are fucking bullshit gated behind RNG, but you have to take that in an MMO. Now, the combat. The combat itself is really fun, like all the abilities you get, the special class traits and whatnot, it's super intuitive. The thing is, you have to know that you only ever do one of two things, beat multiple small enemies or one big tough guy. These fights drop materials that you upgrade your gear with. The thing is that some of the upgrades have a 10% chance to actually work, so sometimes you play for days just to get a minimal upgrade. A really common alternative to this is to just have really rich parents. Lost Ark veterans recommend for this that you have 3, 4 or 5 alls even. I did my dailies for a while on 2 alls and it unironically took me 5 to 6 hours to complete them. Then again, don't take my word for it because I'm dog shit at optimizing, but yeah, take that as you will. In retrospect, there's a third major piece of content, which does go hand in hand with exploration, and that is collectibles. There's this adventurer log that keeps track of all of them and it tells you how much stuff there is on each continent. So if you're a fan of collectibles, go for it. Just go for it. You're gonna love it. You're gonna salivate like a dog that is waiting for its food. I guarantee it. Bottom line, I personally suggest you play it like a single player game where you just run around, you beat the shit out of stuff, you enjoy the story, you collect collectibles, and you just have a good time until you eventually get bored of it, and please, for the love of God, don't spend any money on it. I'm giving Lost Ark a solid semi-stiff cock out of 10.